Back to the Sports Talks 4022 YouTube channel. It is Tuesday night here, February 25th, and we have a phenomenal slate of sports tonight here. So much can be coming down. NBA, NHL, so got a lot of college basketball. Should be all fun to talk about. But obviously, as you know, we start with some reactions and stuff from last night. Before I get into the the leagues and stuff, I want to talk about a few things real quick of small things that have been going on in some other leagues. First up being the Packers want the Tush Push banned. And it looks the Bills also want the Tush Push banned. So what are my thoughts on the Tush Push? Well, I'm an Eagles fan. The Tush Push should stay in the game. There's no question about it. Anybody can run the Tush Push. The Eagles just do it the best. I don't care that your team can't do it. You are trying to make an excuse to not do it. Just because the Eagles found a way to run the Tush Push does not mean that everybody else is going... That doesn't mean that you have to get rid of it. The Tush Push should stay in the league. It should. There's nothing wrong with it. Just because... Maybe here's another idea. Don't make it 4th and 1. Don't make it 3rd and 1. Maybe make it 4th and 5. Make them punt. I think it's soft by the teams that do it, especially the Buffalo Bills, because they've run it a ton. And the Packers, womp womp. I'm going to say it. The Tush Push should not be banned. It is a legal play in football, and you should be able to run it at all costs. And now I know people are like, well, technically it's a legal formation. I don't care what you say. I generally do not care what you say. And you probably don't care what I say. But it should not be banned. The Tush Push is a good play. Stop crying about it and get over it. Because you know what's going to happen? Everyone's going to be like, oh, it's finally going to get banned. And it's not going to get banned. It won't. Next up, the other thing, Diana Tersari, I hope I'm pronouncing that right here. The WNBA's all-time leading scorer announces her retirement today. This was very out of the blue, I think. I mean, we knew she was getting old. I mean, she was in her after her 20th season. We knew she was getting older, but she was still playing pretty well. But yeah, I mean, shout out to her. She had a phenomenal season, phenomenal career, excuse me. And yeah, the GOAT retires, and time to move on. So that's what I got to take away from there. Not a lot, more of just a, good job. So now let's move into my reactions on the sports games from last night. So we'll start in the NBA, where we have a few things I want to touch on from last night. Start off here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Wizards have finally won another basketball game. They finally get into double-digit wins. They're now 10-47. On the right pace. Yeah, I mean, congrats. They finally got the win done. The defense played great that fourth quarter, only allowing 12 total points. And they end up with the win. So, hey, great job to the Wizards. Finally getting back in the win column for the first time in a minute. Finally at 5 wins in, 2025. So, cheers to many more. Probably not. Probably going to get another, 3. But still, good job to the Wizards for finally getting into double-digit wins. Just a little one there. Next up, Nuggets beat the Pacers 125-116. Jokic nearly has another triple-double last night. He was a rebound away. But includes 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 19 assists from Jokic last night. And that's the reason they won. Because Jokic just found anybody who was open and ended up with 19 assists. Phenomenal stuff from Nikola Jokic yesterday. Some great stuff overall from this team. And this team is going... They're going places, right? This is a good Pacers team on the road, hard game to play, and coming out and getting a nice win like this is a great job for them. Next up, the Timberwolves beat the Thunder 131-128 in overtime. So what was so crazy about this? The Thunder, Shea, 39 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. They got outscored in the fourth quarter, 41-19. And then it went to overtime, and the T-Wolves ended up winning. Wow. I mean, this is the second time we're seeing them. We saw them on Sunday they played each other, and Monday they played each other. And the fact that they come out and do this and beat the Thunder on the road, great job of the Timberwolves. Because this shows you, like, hey, the Timberwolves are still here. You got to respect the teams here. They're still going to fight. They're going to give you problems every single night. And it's good. They're always in for a good game. We had a phenomenal one last night. And I wouldn't be shocked if this is a first or second round playoff matchup. I wouldn't. I'm leaning towards more of a first round playoff matchup. The Timberwolves probably the 7. Maybe they lose that one, then end up out of the play-in tournament the 8 seed. More than getting up to like a 5. I think that's a stretch. But hey, what do I know? We'll see what happens. But great win from them there. Finally, the Kings beat the Hornets 130-88. 42-point win comes along with Zach LaVine drops 42 points for the Sacramento Kings in their win. 42 points. That's outrageous from Zach LaVine. I mean, wow. 42 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. What a stat line there. Some great stuff to see from them there. So, what should we look out for in tonight's NBA slate? Well, there's a few notable games, but I think there's 3 to look out for. First up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks at the Houston Rockets at 8 o'clock tonight. Should be a fun one, I think, from these two squads. You have a younger Rockets team versus more of a veteran-type Bucks team. So that should be a fun one to look out for there in Houston tonight. Houston, a 2.5-point favorite, and that one should be a fun one. Number 2, Suns at Grizzlies. Why? Because the Suns need to start winning sooner or later if they want a shot at the postseason. Straight and simple. They got to start winning. They haven't done it yet. And we'll see. Memphis is a 7.5-point favorite, so we'll see what ends up happening. Also, just a note here, San Antonio is playing New Orleans. Again, they played on Sunday. I just don't understand this back-to-back garbage stuff. But the game of the night to look out for tonight here, the Dallas Mavericks at the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm pretty much 99% sure that AD is not playing, if I can just confirm that for you guys here. Yes, no Anthony Davis. Yeah, he's not back until March 7th. We also will not be seeing LeBron, I believe. He's going to be a game-time decision tonight as I'm recording this. But this is more of a, it would have been nice to see AD play tonight. We're not going to. But, this is the first time since the trade went down. Luka will play against his former team. It won't be in Dallas, but they're going to play each other tonight at 10 o'clock. Going to be this very, I think, emotional night for some of these guys. This was a... AD's been playing there since, 2019? 2020? Luka's been playing there all his career. So they'll play there tonight, and then... March 9th will be the big game when Luka returns to Dallas. That'll be the big game. But still, notable tonight to see out there. The question is, will Anthony Davis cry in his tribute video tonight? We'll see what ends up happening there. Let's move in now to the NHL's world of things. We'll start off last night, talk about the 2 games, and then what to look out for tonight, because we have a loaded slate of hockey tonight to look out for. First up, Jets beat the Sharks 2-1 in overtime. You're probably looking at that and going, they only won 2-1? They were down 1-0 with less than a minute to go. Scored in the third, late in the third period, and then scored in overtime very fast to win 2-1. Shout out to the Sharks, though. The Sharks almost pulled off the improbable. They were, I believe, plus 500 to beat the Jets and got to overtime. You got a point. That's a great stuff right there. At least able to keep it a close game. Nearly had the win. But, yeah, good job of the Jets, I guess, for ending up winning, getting the points. But would have just been better to blow them out by 6. And then the game 2, the Kings beat the Golden Knights 5-2 in a top 3, 1-3 in the Pacific Division right now, which is a very more top-heavy division. The Kings, they're going to give you problems. They scored 4 goals in the third period. It was 2-1 entering that third period, and then 4 goals from the Kings to win it. So that's the only 2 games that happened last night. So what should we look out for tonight? First up, Maple Leafs Bruins. Going to be a great one. Pasternak versus Austin Matthews. Also Marner as well for the Maple Leafs. Also a great rivalry. Great game to look out for there early at 7 o'clock. Next up, Flyers and Capitals, just because it's a great rivalry. Great rivalry game. You want to look out for it. Both teams are not very good, but, you got to respect the rivalry. So that should be a really fun game at 7 o'clock. Also, 7:30, Oilers at Lightning tonight. Draisaitl, McDavid, versus Khrushchev. Should be a really fun one to see there. I think two very good offenses. Also, the Oilers need to start winning games. I mean, really, they need to start winning fast. They're 2 games since the postseason All-Star break, lost 6-3 and 8-3. So, just saying, got to get back on the winning column. Rangers Islanders tonight. The battle of the two New York teams will square things off in Long Island. Should be a fun one there. And then, you know what? Why not? 9 o'clock, Blackhawks and the Utah Hockey Club. You're probably saying, what? It should be a fun one because I think we get to see, Keller versus Bedard. But also, this was the Utah Hockey Club's first game they ever played earlier this year. It was against the Blackhawks at home, so they'll get to do it tonight. A lot of very solid hockey tonight. Look out for here for sure. We'll see what ends up happening in that. Now on to the college basketball world of things, where we've got quite a bit to talk about here. We'll start with these scores from yesterday, the big notable things that happened. The 2 games that were the 2 ranked games from yesterday. First up, number 4 Houston goes into number Texas Tech and wins 69-61. A very close game for the most part. I never thought that Texas Tech was going to really win this one because I felt like the entire game they were down by about 3 points. And I was never like, I don't know, maybe. And then Houston ended up pulling away and getting the job done. But I still think we need to take this Texas Tech team seriously now. I mean, they're 21-7. They're going to drop a bit. But they kept it close with the best team in the Big 12 by far last night. So that's at least a good signs there to see from these 2 squads for sure. I really like how Houston played. I thought, going out into Texas Tech is not an easy place to play at all. And the fact they were to come out with the win, some good stuff there from the Houston Cougars. In the second game, the other ranked game, number 15 Michigan beats Nebraska 49-46 in a snooze fest of a game tonight, folks. Or last night, excuse me. Donaldson does have 11, but the man of the hour yesterday for Nebraska was Bryce Williams, has 26 points. Nebraska scored 46 points, folks. Just putting that out there real fast for you. Really some insane stuff there in that. So, moving into what to look out for tonight in the college basketball world. Quite a few ranked games. Only one ranked versus ranked, and that's number 24 Mississippi State and number 6 Alabama tonight at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Alabama an 8.5-point favorite. Should be an interesting one to look out for tonight for sure, because Mississippi State, they're on a hot stretch. They were, and then they lost on Saturday to Oklahoma. I mean, last week beat A&M, so that should, be an interesting one to look out for tonight. The other game to look out for tonight is Tennessee and LSU. LSU 14-13 on the year. They are probably have like a 2% chance to make March Madness right now. I'm saying just you don't have to win the conference. If you can come out and beat number 5 Tennessee tonight, there's a chance. There's hope. I don't think they're going to at all. But there's hope if they can pull out the win tonight. So we'll see what ends up happening out there. And finally, the other game to look out for tonight, I think, has to kind of do with the other game. And it's Georgia and Florida. A rivalry also with Florida, being in, this third best team in the country, and Georgia on the bubble. If Georgia at home can get this job done tonight, I think we're in for a huge thing to see what ends up happening there. And yeah, so those are the 3 games I think you should look out for tonight in the college basketball world. A really fun slate of games today here in all the sports here. A lot of notable stuff. And yeah, also final things I want to talk about. Brachiology of ESPN's dropped today. I'm going to give you guys a quick few thoughts on it. They have Auburn, Duke, Bama, and Florida as the 1 seeds, obviously. Now, there's nothing when I really look at it is really that bad, except for maybe 1 or 2 things. First up, though, is why is Gonzaga in here? Why is Gonzaga in here? And I genuinely ask that because they're just not that good. They're really not. When I look at this Gonzaga team, I don't see the same team I used to see. Who is their best win this year? And I'm looking. That Baylor win did not age at all. The Indiana win didn't age. I don't think they have a ranked win this year. Just taking a quick look to confirm. Yeah, they just don't have a ranked win against any team that's ranked this year. Why are we making this as they're some great team? They're not good. They're 21-8. I'm sorry. Gonzaga basketball is done. Wrap it up. It's done for. Gonzaga basketball is done. Why are they in? The second thing, why is Ohio State still in March Madness? They're 15-13. They're not good. Get them out of here. They've lost 3 straight games. Really 4. I mean, Washington's the worst in the Big Ten. All right, I'm sorry. They're the worst in the Big Ten. Sure, they have some quality wins. I don't care. They have they're 2 games above 500. They should not be in. I'm sorry. That's my thoughts. And the final thing I'm going to talk about, my last one here, is where was it? Oh, VCU up to 10th now. That really shocks me because I thought it was going to have to come down to them just having to win the conference tournament, but now it looks to be they can just get an at-large bid. And we'll see what ends up happening when that comes around. But yeah, should be some interesting stuff to see from VCU. I think they're going to really shake up the bracket. I think they're a very underrated squad. I think you have to look out for them in this tournament for sure. And we'll see what ends up happening. And yeah, so that's just my 3 little thoughts on bracketology. So thank you all for tuning in today here on our Tuesday's video here. And we'll see you all tomorrow.